So by now, most of you have heard that Ripple announced that they're launching a stablecoin on the XRP Ledger. I read about 5 to 6 articles about this, and most of them have most of the information. There's one of them that mentioned something that I found quite interesting that the others didn't mention, which is probably why a lot of people aren't talking about this. So I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later. But I found it interesting that Ripple suddenly launched this. I didn't see it coming. I don't think they alluded to it in any way. Now, it's not the first stablecoin on the XRP Ledger. Of course, we have Pilau's CBDC. That's a stablecoin. The one in Brazil that I spoke about, I'll leave a link to it in the description if you're interested. So we have several stablecoins already sitting on the XRP Ledger. We also have other cryptos already sitting on the XRP Ledger. We have the XRPH, for instance, which is the XRP healthcare token, right? So again, not a new thing that they're doing. They're not breaking bounds, but the fact that Ripple themselves, who are sort of the head developer, you can say, on the XRP Ledger, the most influential entity on the XRP Ledger, are doing this. And I found it interesting that just prior to announcing, we saw a little bit of news about them talking to Circle about bringing USDC to the XRP Ledger, and how there was some sort of political exchange between the two bodies, saying, you have to come to us and request it. And I remember making a video saying, why isn't Tether on the XRP Ledger, or why isn't USDC on the XRP Ledger? You can find those two on Tron, on all sorts of blockchains that don't even have the same clout as the XRP Ledger. But again, I alluded to the fact that it might be some kind of political stuff that was going on in the background, perhaps also to do with the legal standing of Ripple and XRP with the SEC, etc. Okay. The second thing I wanted to mention, which I found really interesting about the stablecoin that's going to be launched, is not only is it going to be launched on the XRP Ledger, it's also going to be distributed on Ethereum. So be it as it may, Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple Labs have faith in the Ethereum system. So here we are talking about how XRP and Ethereum are competing about who's going to get their ETFs first. They're competing and arguing themselves about who got a pass with the SEC. Vitalik versus Brad Garlinghouse, who's an enemy of Gary Gensler versus who's a friend. And here, look, us the masses are debating, this one is a security, this one isn't. Ethereum is going down, XRP is going to flip them. On top, right, they're doing deals with each other. They're talking to each other, okay? I know that Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple Labs don't actually need Vitalik involved because, again, Ethereum is supposedly a decentralized ledger that anybody can just build an EVM compatible app or sit anything on top of it. But the fact that they even considered the system, the platform, why didn't they, for instance, go with Solana or Cardano or someone like that? Or maybe they will in future and they're just going with the largest one first. Like, who knows? But all I always say is, while we're busy here on the ground level talking about something, understand that the people at the top, they're not necessarily on the same page as us. More often than not, these people are talking to each other, regardless of what we see, regardless of the facade. These guys are talking to each other, right? And they're collaborating in the background for mutual benefit. Let me tell you this. If Brad Garlinghouse and Vitalik can walk away from a deal that is going to make each one of them a couple of $1 billion, they don't care about what we think, all right? Let's just get that in our heads. The final thing I wanted to talk about is that it's a stablecoin that is backed by the establishment, right? The establishment. It's not an algorithmic stablecoin like UST was, which failed for many reasons, but it's backed by the US dollar, US bonds, government bonds, cash equivalents, right? That's what it's going to be backed by. The established stuff, the same thing Tether is backed by, right? So they're not doing anything new. All they're doing is creating competition. Stablecoins right now have a massive market cap and it's just entering the market, right? I don't know if this is just another avenue for Ripple Labs to make money because they're looking for money, right? All these legal things that they've been engaged in. If they're going to stop dumping on retail, they're going to need a new source of income, right? And it got me looking at all the ways that Ripple Labs have been trying to make money over the years, all of the collaborations that they did. And I started to unearth some things that I found, like I already knew, but I don't think that people talk about it anymore because it's now sort of in the back burner. But these things have had a massive effect on the price of XRP. And I'm going to be talking about that in the next video. So maybe I'll publish that a little bit later in the day. But for now, shout out to everybody who's in the XRP army. Finally, a little bit of movement. The price popped a little bit, but as usual, dumped right down again. Of course, I don't know if that's just a pump and dump that is associated with every announcement Ripple makes, or the fact that Bitcoin also dumped at the same time, possibly grayscale, who knows? I haven't actually looked who's dumping, who's selling, but there's a massive, two massive red candles that happened in the last 24 hours. Who knows? Maybe the Silk Road government BTCs were being dumped. Again, I don't know. No financial advice, do your own research, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace.